Good Gab, sponsored by Skillskin, a nonprofit organization empowering individuals with disabilities through employment. Another week. It's the heat of the summer. Hey, listeners, thanks for your support. It's another great week, another awesome guest. Today we have Erin Baker. She is the regional donor fail.
So close.
We have Erin.
Yeah. I'm sorry. I'm on 3 hours of sleep today.
Oh,
It's not working out very well. Regional? No.
I would go with senior. You could just say donor recruitment manager.
Senior?
It's way easier.
Donor recruitment manager. Senior donor recruitment manager.
Right.
Boom. Erin Baker, Senior Donor Recruitment Manager of Eastern Washington with Vitalant. Erin, thanks for being here.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
You know what? I don't know if the listeners know this, but I just had met you really for the first time just a few nights ago. We were at a Leadership Spokane event, and we were just chatting, and you were talking about coming on the podcast, and I told you that I had never given blood before.
Yes, and I mentioned how embarrassing that is.
I know.
Really, I'm like, whoa.
It cracked me up, and I was like, man, this is an amazing recruiter here, but the guilt is not what got me, because I did come in. It was the inspiration, because you're telling me how much of a need there was in the community.
Yeah.
And I guess I was just part of, I don't know, a big world that thought there was a lot of other people doing this for me.
That's true. And there's no substitute for human blood, right? So we have to get it out of someone. And I don't know if you knew this, but in Spokane area, we used to have about 100,000 donors in the area.
Oh, that's a
Now
lot.
Yeah, it is. And now we're down to about 21,000.
A fifth?
Yeah.
So that's critical shortage
is.
of donors.
Yep. And that
What
would explain our
changed?
shortage.
What happened?
I would like to blame it on COVID. I think most people do. How we get donors in the first place is by going to high schools, elementary schools. We don't draw the kids, but we do have them recruit their parents for us.
Smart.
Colleges and stuff like that. And we haven't been there for 3 years. So it's a big deal.
That's a long time, right? That's that next group of people
Yep.
that are learning about it. And when I was sitting in the chair, I was talking to my tech. By the way, that was a great experience. The whole thing, like any fears that I had, it just kind of went away. And I felt so supported. And it's weird to say that, but I was scared. Like, what's going to happen?
Most people are. And you were really brave. You did a power red right off the bat. So we got 2 units of red cells, which is super important if we're giving blood to the same patient.
Yeah, I kind of heard little bits and pieces.
Yeah.
What does that mean?
So my best example is I'm from Montana, and
What part?
Billings.
Nice.
Yeah, it's a great place. Anyway, so I moved over here. But we had a patient, her name was Bria, and she has this really weird, it's rare too, anemia disease. And so she doesn't produce red cells, right?
Okay.
So every month she has to have a unit of red cells, and the older she gets, the more units she needs. So getting 2 units from one person versus 2 units from 2 different people on the same day is beneficial for her.
Like her body processes it better?
Right.
Okay. Nice. All right. Well, that makes me feel good.
Yeah.
Yeah,
so
I can be a part of that.
And it's not just her. I mean, it goes to a lot of different things depending upon your blood type, but that's my best example.
Well, it's awesome. Well, yeah, that experience, like, yeah, listeners, if, you've been thinking about this and you're ready to go, like, we got to go check out Vitalant's website. There's all sorts of ways to donate, right? How many centers are around here?
Well, we have 5 centers.
Oh, that's a lot.
And we have 4 mobile trucks and 5 mobile buses. So we're out and about for sure. We're having our big event. So we had one on the 12th. We have another one the 21st at the Hub in Spokane Valley. And then we have
On
one.
Sprague there?
Yeah.
Yep.
Yep. And then we have one in Coeur d'Alene on August 4th. So
So if someone's feeling inspired right now and they want to go, do they need to like sign up for this, or can they just show up?
They can just show up on those ones. If you want to sign up, you definitely can. It kind of gives us a nice idea of what to bring. This last one was kind of all walk-ins, which was cool too. We got 22 new donors, which was amazing.
Nice.
Yeah.
You were earning the title that one. Well,
Right?
you recruited me, that's for sure.
Yeah, 22 new donors and 45 units were collected, which is about 160 potential lives saved.
Really?
I'm really
it's that
bad at
impactful.
math, but yeah.
Wow. Why this world? How'd you get in here?
Well, my brother actually is a car accident survivor, and during his car accidents, he received over 300 units of blood.
Whoa.
Yeah, so it was a big thing. And I still, at that point, I was in high school, so I didn't think anything of it. I mean, I donated regularly, but that was about it. And then I got an opportunity to be a phlebotomist, so I started as a phlebotomist. In Montana, you don't really need any real training. They just do on-the-job training.
Like, here we go.
Yeah, here you need a certificate.
Were you at Billings
and all
Clinic
that
or
stuff.
like?
No, at Vitalant.
Okay, right on.
Yep. And then I became such an expert at phlebotomy, like amazing, that I was like, I want something more difficult. I'm going to convince people to come in and donate blood. So that's what I started doing, and then I moved into recruitment.
That's cool. I was talking to the tech.
Richard?
Yep, Richard. Cool person. Also local Spokane
Yep.
person. Apparently Dad worked at Vitalant too.
Yep.
Yeah, so it's cool. It's in the family. And we were just chatting a little bit. I was like, who's coming in? Who's donating blood right now? And he's like, a lot of people that are like 60 and older.
Yeah.
And I thought about that for the last couple of days, kind of thinking about, when you were coming in here. Do you have any thoughts around like why are the older generation feeling compelled to do this? And like me, just to, I'm 41 and never have donated blood. And I asked actually about 6 of my friends too, in the same age group. I was like, hey, you ever donated blood? They all said no. So then I'm like, okay, there's something going on here. How can we change the perception?
Right. So our average donor is over 60, probably about 55 to 65, and they're aging out. I mean, you can donate blood. I had a couple donating blood that were over 100 years old, and they came in together and donated. As long as you feel well and healthy, you can donate at any age. Well, over 16, of course. But the older you get, the more medications you're on, the more
Right.
surgeries you have, all the different stuff. You travel more, which could be deferring. So you're just kind of getting out of the habit. But it's that generation where it was a civic duty, right? So blood donation started in 1945 due to World War II.
Okay. Yeah. So this is part of the war effort.
Yep. And it just kind of kept going. It wasn't really regulated until the 80s. And then now we fall under the FDA. So there's a lot more rules, regulations, testing and stuff that we do to make sure we have a good, safe community blood supply. But I mean, I'm not sure why the younger generations aren't picking it up. It could be, it's not, it's out of sight, out of mind, right? If you're not affected by blood donation, and a lot of people are, a lot of people don't realize they are because it's a treatment for cancer too. So it's definitely used all over.
Well, that's what I was thinking about, that civic duty piece. It's like that was not really taught to me, in my formative years. But I'm ready to rethink, how I would approach that. And I want to talk to my friends, about that, because going from 100,000 donors to 20, that's not sustainable, right?
No. And it's super scary too, because when we were at 100,000 donors, the demand in this area, so when I talk about this area, I'm talking about Eastern Washington, Northern Idaho, and Western Montana. So right around Kalispell, Lewiston, up to Canada, Omak.
Yep.
So that's our basic area, right? The need was for blood was about, I would say about 48,000 units, right? And that's when we had 100,000 donors. Now we're down to 20, and the need is still 48,000 donations. Up to 50, actually.
Wow. Yeah, so this is imperative for our community. And that's a lot of our listeners, they're always asking, like, how can they help? How can they connect? Here's an easy way. Just,
right?
Step up and donate blood. It's like our community needs you. And it was easy and painless.
Yeah.
It was a great experience.
Yeah, I think it's super fun, but there's lots of different things. People have, there's myths about donating. For example, a lot of people think if you got a tattoo, you can't donate blood. That's not true. As long as you didn't get tattooed in your friend's basement, you're usually eligible.
What
So
about
come on
someone
in.
yesterday told me it's like, oh, I get tattooed and that you have to wait a year.
No.
All right.
So
Myth.
if you get tattooed in Washington, you don't have to wait. We prefer if you wait till it's healed. You know? But other than that, you don't have to wait. If you get tattooed in Idaho, you do have to wait about 3 months.
Makes sense. Because that's our regulations a little different.
Yeah.
Okay.
The regulations around tattoo artists in both states are a bit different.
So there's a ton of myths in this world, huh?
Yeah.
Like, are you selling blood? Like, are you just, making money off of my blood? Like, let's address that, right? Because
Okay.
it seems kind of silly, but I've heard it.
Yeah. Vitalant's a nonprofit company. So we do contract with the hospitals. They do pay us for blood because we have to buy the blood bags, pay our employees, all that stuff.
Yeah, really expensive. I sold
Right.
medical supplies. I know what those cost.
Yeah, it is crazy. But so we do contract with hospitals. We don't pay our donors because it's against FDA policy. You're more likely to lie on your questionnaire, those 50 questions that you had to answer before donating. So
It's a safety issue.
Right.
I totally see that.
and that's exactly what it is. They want to make sure we offer the safest blood possible. There are plasma centers in and around this area, and they do pay for plasma. And it's different because we're transfusible. So our plasma, our blood, platelets, everything we collect goes directly into patients. Whereas at a plasma center, they collect it and it goes to research, medications, cosmetics, both of which are needed, right?
Sure.
There's room for both of us, but that's the big difference.
I think that distinction is something that all of us need to understand. Yeah, and there's a reason why you're getting paid, right? Yeah,
Right.
It's going into that world.
Yep.
But when you come to Vitalant, your blood is going to help potentially save a life, help be part of a cure.
Yep.
Fair?
It is, yeah. It gives one person another birthday, one person another day with their family. I'm thankful because I have an older brother. Sometimes I'm thankful. He can be kind of a pain, as older brothers can. But
My younger brother would say the same.
yeah. But I'm very thankful for all the donors, and you hear that all the time. Recipients are always very thankful, and a lot of them come back and encourage blood donation and host memorial drives.
So tell us a little bit more about, Vitalant's mission in the inland Northwest. It's like we're getting blood. What are some of the other challenges, I guess, besides just people?
Well, people is the biggest one, right? It's huge. Definitely getting in front of people is another problem. Since COVID, the schools have been overwhelmed and busy, and they don't have enough employees and whatnot. So getting in front of the students, getting that time with the teachers and educate people, it's so difficult right now. So we have high schools that pre-COVID did about 100 donors, right?
That's
which
a
is
lot.
super cool. Now they're about 20. So it's a significant drop, right? And a lot of it is because we don't have those extra leadership groups and stuff like that in the schools, just because everybody's so busy trying to get caught up, right? And then, of course, there's the work from home people,
Yep.
which I work from home occasionally. Of course, I live like 300 yards from work, so it's not that big, but it is. It's definitely pretty fun.
I can imagine.
But the work from home people aren't at the office, right? So at office buildings where we were collecting 25, 30 units, we're getting 5 or 6 now, just because they're not in office.
So let's talk about that a little bit, because the world changed. Many organizations, including like ours at Skillskin, we have a big portion of the admin team who are working from home. Let's say we care, right? And as an organization, like, want to be a part of this. How do we facilitate that? How do we connect up?
Well, I would recommend having a party,
Uh-huh.
like have a barbecue, bring all your people in. But if you can't do that, which some people, it's one of those things, maybe a party in the middle of December isn't great. We do offer virtual blood drives. So what that means is we'll give you a particular link so your company still gets credit, so you can track how many people participate. But they can go to any blood drive or center that's open.
That
donate.
seems easy, awesome. What's the feedback from the companies? Like, are they still getting that teamwork aspect, is that still being built that way?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, a lot of people really like it. And we do have people who do on-site for the people who come inside. And they offer, like there's some companies that offer gift cards to their employees that donate, or drawings. There's some companies that offer food, which is, I think, the biggest motivator. Food is a great motivator.
Get me to do it.
Pizza, donuts, anything like that. There's different things that they offer, but people will come in on that particular day and donate. And then if they're not able to, they still feel like they're part of the team because they can donate, say, on a Friday or Saturday at the center.
It makes sense to me. What's a size of a company that would that you'd need to be to like bring a mobile unit out?
We have mobiles of all sizes. So we have some that are 6 or 7 units, right? It's a shorter span of time, like we're there for an hour and a half. And then what we do is we link with another business. So then we go to the next business and collect 10, 12 units, right? So,
okay,
yeah,
so
any
you all
size.
have this dialed in. You just need, people.
Right. We just need people. We need advocates. We need people to spread the word and let people know. I mean, the number one reason people don't donate blood is because they've never been asked. So when we ask people, why don't you donate? I wasn't aware of the need. No one's asked me to. The number 2 is scared of needles, which, let's be honest, it's probably a good thing if you're scared of needles, right?
No doubt.
So that's it, yeah.
Well, I fell in that category, so it's like, here we go.
Yep, they're not aware of the need. And if you think about it, we need about 100 to 200 units a day just to supply the local hospitals here. Because it's not just about traumas and car accidents, even though in the summer that's a large part of it. Memorial Day to Labor Day is considered the 100 deadliest days of the year because of the increased travel, accidents, and trauma. But it also goes to cancer treatments, people with blood diseases, people who need help clotting, surgeries, pregnant women, babies, like all sorts of people every day.
Erin, you just made a connection for me. Like, I remember my dad, like, it was over a decade ago, and he ended up in the hospital, and he had like some bleeding in his throat, and he just didn't know, and so when he got to the hospital, they're like, yeah, you don't have any blood in you. And he got blood, and I forgot about that until now.
Most people do.
Right? Like that, like we have real close connections to this.
Yep.
Well, how do we change this? Because it's got to happen around the country, right?
Right.
Like this idea of the elderly who are like
Yep.
basically propping up the rest of us. How do we change people's minds to support this system?
It is a national problem, so it's not just a Spokane problem. This is a national issue, right? Blood donation shortages are across the country right now. And really, it's educating people, getting the word out, letting people know that, yes, people still need blood. It is an everyday occurrence. It's not just a special need. And that's the biggest thing, is the education portion.
Well, I think you found a friend in me in that way.
Oh, that's
because I've just started asking a lot more questions.
Yeah.
And there's 2 people I get to follow up with today about some myths that were happening.
Oh, for sure.
Yep.
And I can answer like almost any question about blood.
Well, you've been doing it for a long time.
I've been doing this for 11 years now.
What was it like when you first were getting in phlebotomy? You're like, here we go. I got to find that vein.
That's exactly what it was. All right, here we go. Actually, I think my first stick, I closed my eyes. But after that, we were good.
I always thought it was pretty cool, the people who are really talented at that. I used to sell those butterfly needles that were common in blood, and then some of these devices where the needle would shoot back in and leave the cannula in, and just the nurses, the phlebotomists, like the people who are pros. It was cool. It was like an art.
And one thing to note is that we are really good at our jobs, not to sound egotistical or anything, but our phlebotomists are amazing. They do this 8 hours a day, so they completely understand how this works. Most people who come to us are healthy, so like a lot of people will be like, oh, they can never find my vein when I go to the hospital. It's like, well, you're sick, right?
Yeah.
So your veins, you might be a bit dehydrated. There's different things going on. So we have all that information. So if you're not comfortable, if you feel like I have a difficult vein, you can always ask somebody to check before you go through the entire process. Hey, will you look at my vein? Do you think you can hit that?
And they'll know.
Yeah, they'll know.
Because they're pros.
Yep. And there's things that we can do. We encourage people to drink water. We encourage people to eat before donating.
I screwed up on that one, by the way.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's
I
like,
did see that.
Yeah, I was like, oh man. All right, so I know better now.
Yeah.
Just drink some more water.
Right. Yep. So if you drink plenty of water the day before and the day of, because we want you really hydrated, and then eat before you come in, and then eat after you leave.
Easy.
Yep. We have
Easy
tons
steps.
of food too. We offer chips, pretzels. I think we had peanuts there. Tons of different stuff. Cookies. We do Oreos.
So, Gatorade.
Yeah. So here's
I
the
was
thing.
really looking for the purple Gatorade. That's my favorite. But the red was pretty good.
If you put red and blue together, it might be purple. Right?
I would do that. Yeah.
Oreos actually have iron in them, so that's why we give those away. So when you see them and you're like, why do they only do chips and cookies? Well, that's why. It has iron
There's
in
a
them.
science behind it.
Yep.
What Leadership Spokane class were you? Side note.
No, I was 2022.
2022.
Yeah, I guess they call it
With
the best
Dana.
class ever.
Okay, yeah. They called our class the GOATs. The
Yeah.
greatest of all time.
Right. I think we were called the goats as well.
Oh,
I think it's a common thing. but
dang.
I feel
I'm
we
so
really were.
disappointed. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I know our executive producer, Dana Devine, in your class.
Yep.
That's awesome. Well, how was that experience? We've had actually a lot of people from Leadership Spokane on this podcast. And yeah, how was that for you?
I really enjoyed it. So I had just moved here. So it was a great way during the pandemic. And Montana and Washington they treated the pandemic significantly differently, right?
Sure.
So
We have
it was
operations in Great Falls.
Yeah.
So yeah, definitely saw that from a company level.
It was definitely crazy. It was just a whole different environment. And I was fine with it. It just took some adjustment.
Sure.
So when I joined Leadership Spokane, or when I was accepted, that was one of my big reasons for doing it. Like, I want to get connected with this community. I want to meet people, and everything's shut down. So this is my best way of doing it.
Smart.
And it was an interesting experience, I think, for us because it was hybrid. So part of the year was online or, through Zoom,
Yep.
and then part was in person. But we were still able to connect with each other, and we were still able to go out. We did after parties. And we still do now. Every second Monday, you'll see us hanging out.
That's what Dana
someplace.
told me. She
Yeah.
said your class is very much connected.
Yeah.
Y'all are going to change the world.
Well, we're trying one blood donor at a time.
So, yeah, no doubt. So Spokane, why did you come here then?
Work. Yeah.
Okay.
I transferred for Vitalant. Yep.
Well, yeah, they were lucky to be able to get you over here.
Yeah, they actually said that. So my boss she was still the director when I was in Montana, but this position opened, and she's like, "You should come over here. You'll see all sorts of hummingbirds because I'm a birder, right? I check them off my list. I think I talked about it in Leadership Spokane 6 million times. Every time.
How
I had a
far
bird.
are you on your list?
Not nearly far enough.
But that's
And
cool.
I have not seen one hummingbird since I moved here.
Oh, you got to come out to my house then. There's a bunch.
Yeah, I never see any, and I'm just like, this is crazy. It's
Yeah.
the whole reason I moved here.
The magic will happen. Yeah.
Yeah.
You have any favorites that you're looking for right now?
Birds?
Yeah, I want to help you. That's what I'm thinking about. I live just west of town out on Clear Lake. And
Oh, okay.
yeah, so it's
Yeah.
there's all the migratory birds come through there. And
Yep.
so we got to see tundra swans. I love birds too, by the way.
Oh,
so I'm
nice.
Yeah. What's your,
Yeah.
do you have a favorite?
Oh, I have a lot of favorites. It just depends, right? So, definitely for raptors, I like the golden eagles are really cool. I also like the red-tailed hawks.
There's
They're
a ton
amazing,
around
right?
here.
Yeah, and they're so pretty and easily identifiable. For regular woodpeckers and birds, the northern flicker is pretty cool.
Yep.
They
Like a
eat-
magic bird.
Yeah, they eat ants off the ground more than anything else. Swallows are really neat, and you have a green violet swallow here that's not in Montana, so those are
Okay.
really cool to see.
Yeah, we have, oh my gosh, what are they called? That doesn't matter. It's not a stork. It's not a crane.
Great blue heron.
Well, we definitely have lots of great blue herons, but no, it's pelicans.
Oh, yeah.
So the pelicans moved in about 10 years ago. They would come in for a day. And then 3 years ago, they decided they're going to live at our lake. And so every year they come back, and that's just been really cool to watch.
Yeah, are they white pelicans?
Yeah, white
American
pelicans. Yeah.
They are, and they're super neat when they fly too, because I mean they don't fly like geese, but when they turn, they almost disappear. You can't see them.
Right. And yeah, they barely move. They're just such
Yep.
good flyers. Oh, Erin, thank you for letting me go down this side road, because that's just something that I love. Yeah.
Yeah.
The great horned owl.
That is great.
We
Did
have
you
some
know-
living in our trees
Oh.
right now, so it's like
So they
I'm
are
trying
one
to
of
be
the
buddies.
most hated birds in the bird world. Like
'Cause they
birds
eat
do not like
everything?
owls. Yep. Because they'll eat the nests and the eggs and whatnot. So
that
Yeah.
makes sense.
so if
I
you,
think they eat the bunnies in my neighborhood.
So if you're like walking around in any type of forest, I'm sure people do that on a regular basis, right?
Well,
but
around
if you're
here.
walking around in a forest and you see like a bunch of crows making a big mess of things or like just going crazy, it's possible that there's an owl over there.
Ooh, this is good information.
Yeah.
See, I had no idea what to expect today. Now I learned more about birds and blood.
Right?
Oh,
They do go together.
So what are some observations, being new to Spokane, relatively new? Like, what do you like about this community? What do you see for its future?
Oh, I mean, the possibilities here are endless. Definitely in a growth pattern, right? But I mean, everybody really cares about each other, which is super cool. Like, I never felt like I was an outsider. A lot of people here are actually from Montana, which was
Yeah.
crazy. I didn't realize that. Or
Ton
have
of
gone to-
transplants.
Yeah, which, why would you want to leave Montana? But this one's a second best, right? So that's really cool. I really like how how Spokane looks. I mean, they take care of their community, but they also take care of their parks, the land. There's a big culture here, and I think everybody's a part of that, right? With the river,
Yeah.
and they're more than happy to educate and show you this kind of stuff, and they're proud to be from Spokane, which is super cool.
Yeah, I've seen that. I'm a lifer, and that community building and how when people want to come together and address big issues, it just seems that we just do it.
Right.
And I'm happy to hear that. Yeah, we like come. You want to help? We're gonna accept you into this community, and let's go.
Yeah. And I mean, it's amazing. There's so many programs here. I met so many people through Leadership Spokane with programs that I had no idea even existed or were a possibility. So it allows me to spread the word to people I think need it or could use that service. I volunteer with April Anderson with Unity.
I know April.
Yeah, Unity in the Community.
She was the first person that
Oh,
I
nice.
met at our first night at Leadership Spokane.
I think she's the first person I met with Leadership Spokane too. But so I help her with Unity in the Community, which is coming up in August, and that's a great volunteer event too. It has nothing to do with blood, but it does keep the community together. It has a multicultural village. I mean, all sorts of really cool stuff. Backpacks.
Did you volunteer also in Billings with organizations?
Yeah, but mostly like I did TrailNet, different things like that. So a lot of cycling paths, and because we were just building that up in Billings.
That's cool. So this is in your blood,
Right.
this heart of service.
Yeah.
I like it.
And I was a CASA in Billings as well.
Okay. What's next for you here in Spokane? Like, where else do you want to put your energy?
I'm not sure really. I mean, I really like being part of the community. There's different organizations I'm dabbling with. Obviously, Unity in the Community. I love going to galas. They're super fun.
Yeah, they are fun.
Right. So, just keeping my options open, and if someone needs help and I'm available, I will jump in. Except for golfing. I'm not great at golfing. People keep trying to get me to go golfing, and really, I'm the cart driver. That's all.
I will drive
you don't
this
want
cart.
me golfing at all. I will drive the cart. I will keep your beverages at hand. That's about it.
Erin, incredible. What else would you like our listeners to know? Anything else that's on your mind?
Yeah, I just want people to come and donate blood. That's about it, right?
know.
So it seems like it's asking a lot, but it's 1 hour of your time, and we will be at the hub on the 21st. I'm really looking for that 100 donors. So we got 45. We want to double that for 100 in Spokane Valley.
All right, good gabbers. Show up. Tell them that you heard it here. And I want Erin to say, yep, we made a difference.
Yeah, for sure.
Erin, Thank you for your time.
Yeah, no, thanks for coming to donate. That was awesome.
Heck yeah. Well, it was my pleasure. And you know what? I think you'll see me again.
In 112
Yeah.
days. We'll call you, trust me.
Is that 16 weeks?
Yep.
Nice.
Yeah, we'll definitely call you.
Deal.